But I don't care if it comes from China, Taiwan, the Congo, Pluto. I don't care where it comes from. If it's reasonably priced, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. There's one thing being loyal, and there's another thing being a fool. And Mama didn't raise a fool. I'm not paying that kind of money, or even half that kind of money, for something that's just out and out thievery.
大家好，我是小满。今天分享的这位美国老哥可是个地道的硬核机械迷，他本想支持一把哈雷的本土情怀，哪怕零件贵点他也愿意买单，却在结账时被彻底震碎了三观。一个成本不过几块钱的普通青铜衬套，竟然被哈雷官方课以高昂的信仰税。这种近乎明抢的暴利，不仅让老哥当场破防，更引发了一场关于品牌忠诚度的信任危机。究竟是怎样的价格让这位美国老哥直呼抢劫，甚至开始将目光投向中国制造？别眨眼，接下来的反转绝对让你大开眼界。
I think I might have just experienced one of history's all-time greatest price gouges. This is why today's companies, today's manufacturers, do not deserve our loyalty. Loyalty, brand loyalty, product loyalty, it's a thing of the past. Don't delude yourself. These people are not your friends. So, if you're not familiar, right, this is one of the older ones. This is a cam bushing for Harley-Davidson for a sportster, although there's a zillion different applications for this type of bushing within the Harley-Davidson line. But this specifically is a cam bushing that fits every single Sportster engine from 1991 to 2022. So we're talking about millions of engines. And each engine has 4 of these in it, okay? And the way it works like this is, here's a camshaft, one of the 4 camshafts that's on a Sportster motor, and it has a bushing like this on either side. Okay, so now you know how it actually fits together. So I go to my local Harley-Davidson dealer. I says, you know what? Let's support local business. Let's support Harley-Davidson. I'm not going to go shopping online and find one of these things from China. I'll just go pay the Harley tax. I know there's going to be a Harley tax. In my mind, I'm saying to myself, this is like a $3 or $4 bushing, okay? But I'm going to end up, they're going to bend me over it for like $12. Fine, it is what it is, right? So I go over to Harley dealer, Bumpus Harley-Davidson here in town, and I'm not dumping on them, because this is just the way it is across the board. Just telling you the story, and this is the way it is. Now, it's also important that you know that they don't really know me from a hole in the wall. I don't go in there announcing, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I'm going to make videos about this. I walk in, I'm just a regular schmo, and I go over to parts counter and I'm going to pay like everybody else does. All right. So I go, I tell him what I need, and the parts guy, very nice, very helpful. He goes into the computer and he's looking, and he says, okay, I can get them. I don't have them in stock. I can get them for you, and they'll be here like next week. He says, how many do you need? I says, I need 4 of them. So he's looking, right? And he says, I can get 1 from this location. I can get 3 from that location. He says, $57. So in my mind, I'm saying to myself, okay, that's about what I'm expecting to spend. $57 for 4 bushings? I mean, sure. Why not? You know, here, take my money. I feel I'm supporting, you know, my local business and a company whose products I've loved over the years. Yes, here, take this extravagant amount of money for these bushings. Simple flanged bronze bushing, which I'm very familiar with. He says, okay, I'll order them. He says, you going to pay for them now? I says, yeah. He says, okay, the total is $230 something with tax. I'm like, what? I said, no, I just need 4 bushings. He says, yeah, well, they're $57 each. I just about swallowed my tongue. I'm like, $57 for a flanged bronze bushing, a simple, plain flanged bronze bushing, because that's all this is. How do I know what something like this should cost? Because every Chrysler engine I've ever built uses what they call a tower bushing. And that's it. And you pay like $5-6 for a tower bushing. Yes, the dimensions are different, but the construction, the purpose, all of that is the same. And a tower bushing, I expect to spend $5-6 for one. I just looked online, there's like one on sale for like $3 and change. Yeah, that's what you expect to pay for a bronze bushing. Just out of curiosity, I'm like, okay, let's look at flanged bronze bushings. online. Now let's just see what they go for in general, right? And there's one, I found one ad real quick, not even looking, but there was like 12 of them for like $12, and it was an Australian thing, but like it was $12 and change. Okay, they're like $1 a piece, right? They're cheap. They're cheap. And then I says, you know what? Let me just see what, let's say, a cam bushing, a tower bushing, or a flange bronze bushing, for let's say something like a Royal Enfield. I don't even know if they use them or not, but let me see. So now it's important I use Royal Enfield because Royal Enfield has been eating Harley-Davidson's lunch around the world for years now because they build the bikes that Harley-Davidson should have been building, and that's crazy stuff they've come up with. But that's besides the point. I didn't even know if they used a bushing like this, but he says, let's try it anyway. And it turns out they do, and it's like $12, which is like, okay, yes, that's the bend me over price, but I'll take it because I love you and I love your company, right? I want to support. Yeah, no. $57 each. Now, before you go any further with that, right? People will be like, oh, but it's a precision machine part. It has to be exactly right. No, it's actually a raw part that you're buying when you buy one of these. Because in order to do this properly, this bushing needs to be reamed to size. So this is actually just a raw piece. It's a raw bushing. No precision machining involved here. The outside is a precision size, but okay, fine. It still needs to be machined. $57 each. So the parts guy over at Bumpus, he was like, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. I couldn't imagine paying that, right? He says, let me see if I can find it, maybe in Drag Specialties. So he goes to the Drag Specialties catalog and he looks up and he says, yeah, okay, I can get them for you there. They're like $36 each, $35 each, whatever it was. It was still some ridiculous price. And then I myself looked at V-Twin manufacturing, or what did they get for them? And again, like $32, $33, whatever it was. Some ludicrous price for a $2 or $3 flange bronze bushing, which you can get a very similar size, not exact of course, you can get a very similar size, similar construction bushing from Lowe's for like $3. Lowe's, like this is not like unobtainium. This is a freaking flanged bronze bushing. So now granted, it's going to be spec'd to Harley-Davidson's size, and you expect that. Yes, of course, this is going to be a unique part to this motorcycle, no question about it. I don't expect to find this exact bushing at Lowe's, but the point is, the same material, the same construction, the same processes, all of that go into the manufacturing of this is commercially available everywhere on the planet for like $3, unless it's for a Harley Davidson. So I imagine that what happened was Harley Davidson probably ran off like millions and millions of these things, because think about it, just talking Sportsters, every single Sportster engine has at least 4 of these inners, and then there's another 4 outers. So each of these engines has like 8 of these flange bushings in there. They had to produce millions and millions of them, so they probably sell them through to V-Twin and Drag Specialties at Jobber, and then they just pass the gouging on, right? Point is, there's no reason for that to cost as much as it does. This is a company that I'm not just singling out Harley-Davidson, it's all of these things, but it's almost like they mock your loyalty. I love this old motorcycle so much, I want to put it back together again, I want to restore it, and I want to use the factory parts. $57 for that bushing. It's beyond absurd, and it's why these companies today do not deserve our loyalty. Loyalty is something that has to be earned. And in the past, companies like Harley-Davidson did earn that loyalty. They made old parts available at still inflated. Still, you paid the Harley tax. It was crazy money for some things. But $12 for that would be crazy money, okay? So we're going from crazy money to like moonshot, like, let me get it together. Yeah, you always expected to spend extra, right? But not like that. Now, there's fewer and fewer parts available for these older bikes, and the ones that are available through the manufacturer that you feel loyalty to and you want to help support, and they're local dealers, that it's a local business and you feel a sense of loyalty and you want to support. No, it's just gouging. It's just completely taking advantage. I don't know how else to say this. It's like they do not deserve your loyalty. That's a thing of the past. That's a thing of the past. So now at this point, I still have to go hunting for these things. I am not paying that kind of money for this friggin' bushing. I can go to a machine shop and have them and give them just a piece of bronze, and they can machine these things out for me for less than it's going to cost me each one. So I'm going to source these things out. It probably won't be easy because it is a specific Harley-Davidson size. But I don't care if it comes from China, Taiwan, the Congo, Pluto. I don't care where it comes from. If it's reasonably priced, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. There's one thing being loyal, and there's another thing being a fool. And Mama didn't raise a fool. I'm not paying that kind of money, or even half that kind of money, for something that's just out and out thievery. All right, rant over. Let me go find some cheap bushings. I'll see you tomorrow.
纵观整个视频，这位美国老哥的情绪转变轨迹，堪称一部生动的情怀幻灭史。从最初满怀热忱、心甘情愿去为所谓的本土品牌交点哈雷税，到最后被残酷的价格剥削，彻底激怒。他的破防不仅是一个消费者的理性回归，更是西方工业情怀在资本傲慢面前的轰然倒塌。当老哥愤怒地直呼这是纯粹的抢劫，并坦言管它来自中国、台湾还是冥王星，只要价格合理我就买的时候，这种跨越国界的务实态度无情地戳破了品牌溢价和所谓本土信仰的虚伪泡沫。事实上，这并非孤立，而是当前全球制造业格局演变的一个缩影。过去，西方品牌凭借先发优势和文化垄断，长期割着消费者的信仰韭菜。然而，在今天高效完备的全球供应链体系面前，这种建立在暴利之上的情怀早已失去了根基。企业的忠诚度是靠对等的技术、质量与合理的价格赢来的，而不是靠消费大众的情怀来无底线透支的。这场一个衬套引发的破防，让我们看到，无论地缘政治如何风起云涌，市场的底层逻辑永远属于高性价比，属于务实与理性。当西方神话逐渐祛魅，全球供应链的效率之战胜负早已不言而喻。